Sex education was the highlight of my year 10. My school put together the dream team, the ultimate duo, the best people to teach us sex education. Dave, the PE teacher, and a bunch of old people from the local church. Together they taught me condoms do belong on bananas, herpes, not a Greek god, and sex before marriage is painful. I didn't take health science, so the last time I officially got taught sex education was year 10. And that makes sense, because at 14 there were more important things for me to learn at school, like building a hammer in high-tech or nailing the Pythagoras theorem in math. The thing I do remember about sex education is we got told that there was a 12 base system, despite the fact that the base system was definitely modelled off a baseball metaphor, and base 4 was eye contact. It was a little confusing, but it did feel cool to be able to announce that I was on base 5 because I held hands with someone in the school play. The teachings have improved since I was at school, because when you're at rock bottom, the only place you can go is up. These days, we're teaching consent, healthy relationships, sexuality, and pleasure. So why don't we have a generation of sexual education legends? Are we leaving our queer and Takatapui students behind in sex ed? Whose responsibility is it really to teach our students anyway? And why did my PE teacher Dave wear such big hoodies and such tiny shorts no matter the season? And here to answer every single question I've ever had about sex education, currently doing a PhD in formal and informal sexual education inside and outside of the classroom, it's Lauren Black. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
What did you learn during your sex education?
I think at the time it was largely just very awkward, very heteronormative and focused on the straight, cis and often white body. And I felt like I didn't fit into those categories until I got on the internet and I realised, being connected with these diverse communities and platforms, that actually there was kind of more than the binary. There was more than just this grey area of what was taught in school. I think having that information would have validated my identity a lot. But what if I had that time that I spent questioning myself and kind of in these pits of despair? What could I have done with that time instead?
I think I would have spent a lot less time on BuzzFeed quizzes. But the BuzzFeed quizzes sometimes would be like, what apartment aesthetic is the most appealing to you? What Glee character do you want to sing with? Like, it wasn't direct. And then I would get an answer being like, yeah, you're queer. And I'd be like, nah, I've answered something wrong. Yeah. Whose responsibility do you think it is to teach sex education?
So obviously schools have a really big position of power. But then it's not all down to schools. Parents, whānau, caregivers also have a bit of responsibility in this, just about having open conversations.
It is hard as well, because I think growing up I thought my parents knew every single thing in the world. And then I got to an age and I was like, you know some things about some things.
So parents are our first role models. They're our first teachers. They teach us about relationships and values and morals, gender roles as well. So we see a lot of this happening from our parents, and then we come into these school spaces and maybe those messages are slightly different, but that exposes us to these diverse worldviews, which is really important as well.
I remember I bold-faced looked my mum in the eyes and asked her how to have lesbian sex, and she was like, I don't know. I simply do not know.
For the internet, sweetie.
What cog in the machine of sex education do you think needs the most oil?
There is a curriculum, a sexuality education curriculum by the ministry, but this acts more as a guideline of what schools could teach rather than what they must teach or what they should teach. So there's obviously a little bit of disconnect there because none of it's compulsory or mandatory.
How could sex education better serve our queer kids?
What it requires almost is the societal shift towards embracing diversity and embracing other worldviews and other people's opinions, coming into the classroom with an awareness of this information is not for everyone, but we're going to try and give the best information as comprehensive as we can that fits the diversity of this classroom.
There's definitely a lot of things where I think students potentially know more than their PE teacher in front of them.
We have a lot to thank social media for that. So there's actual educators on TikTok now, Instagram, that are sharing that good information with young people. And so they take that, they absorb that, and they share it around with their friends. For the most part, this is fairly positive.
I feel cautiously optimistic about the future of it, but cautiously.
The kids are all right.
Oi, guess what? What?
I asked Frankie out the other day and they said yes.
Oh my god! Yeah, of course they did. You two are the cutest.
Stop. We're workshopping our couple name right now because they're non-binary.
Oh, so you're like partners?
Sounds too serious.
Yeah, I get that.
Yes.
Okay, guys, Dream Team, gather round. We've been a bit rushed up our feet this term, trying to fit everything into the curriculum. And so we're going to do the beep test and sex ed in the same class, okay?
That doesn't sound quite right.
So, like, sex ed can be difficult. Just remember, keep an open mind and no questions too awkward, okay? Let's do it. All right. First up, consent. Super important. So can I hear everybody say a big yes? Yes. You see, now that is learning in action. You see, you don't just want to say what I say. You want to say what you want to say. Okay, can everybody say no? No. No, once again, you want to say what you want to say. You want to think about it, okay? Don't just say what I'm saying. It's like you're in the driver's seat deciding if you want to go for a ride.
Yeah, go for a ride, mister.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. All right. Next up, healthy relationships. Well, apparently I don't know anything about this, according to Janine. So, yeah. Okay, rainbow relationships. Anybody here in a rainbow relationship? Put your hand up. Come on, be proud. Rainbows are a beautiful part of nature. Rainbow? Rainbow? No, okay. Well, I mean, just keep running and, but look, if nobody's going to put their hand up, then we will move to the next one because, you know, we are a bit short on time. Last one. Questions. Okay, good work, everybody, good work. Questions. Anybody got a question for me?
I have if you have sex in a spa, the chemicals kill the sperm and you can't get pregnant. Mister, is that true?
Shit, I hope so. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, great work, guys. Give yourselves a hand, eh? Give yourselves a hand. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to have a dodgeball tournament, boys versus girls, while discussing the gender binary. Oh, actually, that means it's going to be boys versus girls versus everybody else. Okay? Okay, great work, guys. Good class. Going good. Going great.
I worry about him.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so we're going to do gonorrhea, chlamydia, herpes. Is that right? Herpes.